Whew. Well. Well, hi everybody. I don't know if you're going to be coming in an hour later, but I'm doing a little bit different video today than what I have done in the past, okay? And I'm even making this video public at the risk that it's going to be taken down because of some of the things that I do have to say, okay? I'm not going to keep anybody long today, all right? Later on, I will do more videos in regards to teaching the Bible. But this is where fighting for our freedom comes in, okay? This is our God-given rights to breathe oxygen, okay? Now, at the risk of knowing what I know about the censorship and this being taken down, if you can help me share this, please do it, okay? And like I said, I'm not going to be long today, but I live in the state of Texas of the United States of America, okay? And today I just found out that the Governor Greg Abbott just signed an executive order. But the way it's worded, and let me read it. This is in regards to requiring people to wear masks, okay? Let me read this, and I think I've got it saved on my Facebook page so that I can read it for those of you living in Texas. Give me just a second here. Let's see. Whew. I've had this computer a year and I'm still learning it. All right, this is where I'm going to go ahead and read this. For Governor Greg Abbott in the state of Texas. And I'm just going to read this news report. And this actually is written by Daniel McAdams. All right. And it says today, and this is the 3rd of July, 2020, and it is 4:16 p.m. It says, today, Governor Greg Abbott issued yet another executive order on the corn on the cob pandemic outbreak. While the Texas state legislature continues slumbering while collecting paychecks for no work, the mainstream media predictably is misreporting the executive order as a statewide face covering requirement for Texans. It is no such thing. However, it is worded in such an obtuse manner that this misinterpretation of the executive order will likely be universal in Texas. And that's the state that I live in. Every person in Texas shall wear a face covering over the nose and mouth when inside a commercial entity, other building, or space open to the public, when in an outdoor public space, wherever it is not feasible to maintain 6 feet of social distancing from another person not in the same household, provided, however, that this face covering requirement does not apply to the following. And basically, it kind of stops right there. That comma and after the word space is essential. It establishes outdoor public space as a clause within the sentence, meaning both indoor and outdoor are covered by the exception. Wherever it is not feasible to maintain 6 feet of social distancing. This is critically important as it means even in stores or other indoor spaces, masks are not required as long as it is possible to social distance. That would include every grocery store and reasonably sized commercial establishments. In other words, this order was purposely written to be misinterpreted, perception of 99% of reality, particularly among country and local officials who will misread this probably intentionally as a green light to crack down hard. Abbott is not mandating face covers, masks outdoors or even indoors or even in commercial entities. But his order is worded in such a purposely weasel-like manner that it will be universally accepted and reported as such, and it is already being so reported. Section 418.041.c of the Texas Legal Code states that a governor declared state of emergency can only last for 30 days. The governor has the authority to extend the state of emergency, but he is subject to the actions of the legislator as the code states. The legislator by law may terminate a state of disaster at any time. On termination by the legislator, the governor shall issue an executive order ending the state of disaster. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick loves to bluster about being a champion of civil liberties, recently blasting the guy on TV talking about the pandemic, okay? The pandemic of corn on the cob to earn red meat political points. But unfortunately, then it comes to actually standing up for Texans, you are seeing their livelihoods destroyed, who are seeing their civil liberties trampled, or who are seeing an out-of-control governor ruling by decree in a manner that would have made King George blush. He's all hat, no cattle, as we say here in Texas. In Texas, Lieutenant Governor wields the extraordinary power over the state's legislative body and could call the Texas Senate back into session to begin the process of ending Governor Abbott's insane power grab. But thus far, that former radio personality has done little more than preen in front of the microphone. As we clearly explained in today's Ron Paul Liberty Report, the reason for the spike in Texas corn on the cob is a massive ramping up in testing. Come on all, it's free. And an extraordinary redefinition of what it means to be corn on the cob positive that was implemented by Texas Department of State Health in mid-May. Texas county and local officials expressed concern that ramping up testing and lowering the threshold to declaring probable corn on the cob cases with no testing as actual corn on the cob cases would lead to a mass spike in Texas. Turns out they were right. Classifying all those seeking delayed surgeries and other medical procedures as corn on the cob cases, even if not sick, only makes the situation in Texas seem worse. Many honest Texas officials saw the second wave spike coming because they saw how the game was being rigged. But Abbott fell for it, and he has declared war on Texas and our liberty, our freedoms. This is not rocket science. Politics is at play in the second wave of corn on the cob, and in Texas, and elected officials are either too dense or too corrupt to take a stand for the truth. And right now, when I do my live streams and stuff like that, I don't always talk about politics. But right now, in this hour, no matter what country you're living in, our freedoms are in danger of being gone, okay? And the point that I'm trying to make in this situation today, for me personally, and I'm not going to give any, I've got to compose myself. I'm not going to give any names or anything like that. But when I was a child, somebody got drunk and tried to kill me when I was a baby, okay? And the way they did is they pulled the covers up on me and put a pillow over my face and tried to suffocate the oxygen out of me, okay? Now, I know that my God, and I know He never gave me a spirit of fear. And I know to use the Word of God. But I also know that God has taught me how to flood the claustrophobic issues, and to basically not put anything over my face. But also, within the past several weeks, I've been reading post after post, even reading the reports about masks, okay, in itself. Number one, the masks and the surgical uniforms have a place of their own, because things have their own places, all right? And the main reason the doctors and nurses wore masks was so that blood would not get onto them, okay? And I gotta say, I have narrowly social distanced myself from everybody, even as everything is opening up, okay? And I'm not going to infringe on anyone's right to wear a mask, because that is their right. But with all of the studies that I've done, and first of all, I'm going to say it like this, I'm not making any light of this serious virus, but I'm going to use the WHO, and the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, has downgraded, if you go to your government website, in those things that I've mentioned to you, they downgraded this virus to a flu-like virus. Yes, that can still kill people. I am not making light of it. And I am not saying anything bad about Governor Greg Abbott in the state of Texas that I live. But this is my statement, and I'm going to be bold when I say this, okay? Number one, I'm not going to kill myself by my own hand. Number two, do you really want me to put a mask over my face and follow a law when I know it's going to do me more harm, because slowly but surely you're asking me to kill myself? Now, I didn't misread it. I am going to social distance. And as a result of this law, I will be going to very little public places now, because I am not going to wear a mask. Yes, I'm going to get a medical card. And what those medical cards say on them, put it blatantly, is that it doesn't matter if you have psychological issues or if you have physical issues, because according to the United States Constitution, they are not allowed to ask you for your medical history, even with the American Disabilities Act. That's personal information between you and your doctor. So if you have a problem with any of these laws, like in the United Kingdom, they're requiring people to wear masks on public transport and stuff like that. If you have a problem with that, what I have found, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately. If you have an inhaler and you can get one without a prescription, get an inhaler. Okay? Carry it with you and show them. That'll stop everything right there. At least it will work in public transport, and it'll work in different situations. I don't know about private businesses that may require a mask. Okay? But I can tell you this, and I said this afternoon as I was talking to the Lord today, and I'm just going to be blatantly. I'm not going to kill myself. So I say it like this. With the way that they're designing the new laws and stuff like that, this is where we have to have our relationship with God. And I'm going to do another video later on, because there's some things that have came up that the Lord has showed me. But right now, I want to stay on this one subject. I'm going to say it like this. If the local, state, and government officials want me dead, then they're going to have to execute me by their own hands. Because I'm not going to kill myself. I was put on this earth, and the basic thing that I use every day is oxygen. And I'm not going to deprive my body of that. And that's basically where I am at with this. And I haven't done too many videos that often expressing my views and stuff like that because I'm trying to keep that separate. But there are times that, yes, I've been praying, and a lot of you know that come in to watch my Facebook lives and my YouTube lives. Y'all know I have a Facebook page, and I have been praying for the nations of the world, and I'm still going to continue doing that. I'm even going to do something else probably tomorrow or Sunday. I don't know. And I've got another video that I'm going to be planning on later on. So I thought about making this video private, but I decided against that after praying because people need to hear what's going on. But my message to you, Governor Abbott, is that if you want us, the citizens of the state of Texas, dead, then you're going to have to do it yourself and execute us. And I apologize for those of you watching if you're not here right now. But I'm getting fed up with everything. I'm getting really fed up with everything. I'm getting fed up with how all of this has been planned. And it's like, how much are we going to take before we say enough is enough? I mean, this thing has been designed to take away our rights. And like I said, I am not in no way denying that this virus is real, because it is, and it has killed people. I also know the other stuff behind it, but I am not going into that. And yes, I'm staying safe. But even in that, when things push, there's things we have to do to stand up for ourselves. And I am going to take a stand and not wear a mask. Whether the medical card helps or not, I don't know. But I thank God. I thank God that He has me safe right now where I am. So that is all that I have to say today. But just remember that, yes, we need to pray for our officials, because that's what God says to do. That's what the Word of God says. That's where the politics come in, because God cares about the politics, because it is through the politics that the Lord can move if you let Him. But when laws get changed that basically take away our freedom even to worship in churches and stuff like that, and I know that there's technology and people can do worshiping in the home. Yes, I agree with that. But that's not the point today. That's not the point. The point being right now is, no matter what nation you're living in, your freedoms are at stake. Your freedoms are at stake. And I know that for myself, I've been having a calling to pray for change. And as I've been praying for change, the Lord has been answering the prayers by raising up people. This past week, I went and voted in the primary elections in the state of Texas, in the local elections for Texas County Attorney, and just for a state representative, okay? And I actually did that today. Excuse me. I actually did that today. Actually, a couple of days ago. I normally don't do that. But what God has used this current president of the United States is to build a runway, but it's our job to get on the plane and to fight for ourselves. Okay? It's our job to pray. It's our job to go to God. But when God tells us to speak our minds and to speak the truth in love, then we need to do that. But God can empower even me, empower you to even run for an office in your local elections, because the only way that we can have change is to be the change that we want in our lives. And you know what? I'm realizing that more than anything. But I will say this. If y'all want to have something to listen to sometime, go to YouTube and type in Christopher McDonald of the McFiles. He's from Tennessee. Also, Mark Taylor is another one. And let me tell you, this is a prophet of God, and he actually prophesied that President Trump was going to be the president of the United States. So those are two people you can listen to. I'm highly endorsing them, along with Robert Jones. And I'm just typing in names that you can, of Kai 1000. All of these programs are on YouTube. Anyway, later on, I'm going to do another YouTube video, and I will put all of that in my comment section later. I just don't know who is live or not. But I am going to go live, and I'm going to have a word of God, but I wanted to keep this video separate, because what I have to say is, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But I really want to try to keep this video short. But I love all of you, and God bless you, and bye-bye.